Becoming a manager is a psychological shift. Most first-time managers don't struggle because they lack skills. They struggle because their mindset hasn't caught up with their new role. Yes, on the surface, everything seems straightforward: a new title, formal authority, and more responsibility. But underneath, the real transformation is emotional and internal. You're no longer just a peer. You're now responsible for guiding, evaluating, and setting direction. That means redefining relationships with former teammates, navigating blurred boundaries, and facing new expectations. This shift triggers a silent storm of uncertainty, self-doubt, and even identity confusion. Who am I in this new role? Can I lead those who used to be my equals? These questions aren't trivial. They shape how confidently and clearly you lead. Understanding these hidden layers is crucial. Without this awareness, new managers often try to act like super peers or overcompensate with control, both of which backfire. The real challenge of becoming a leader starts in the mind, and those who embrace that inner shift are far more prepared to lead with clarity and resilience. Role transition theory helps explain why. As you move from being part of the group to being responsible for the group, you experience emotional conflict and uncertainty. It's natural. You still feel the comfort of being a peer, yet you carry the weight of new accountability as a leader. These emotions overlap, and they often clash. The chart shows this journey. As you transition from peer to supervisor to leader, your sense of belonging gradually decreases, while responsibility and leadership tension rise. At first, you may feel lost in the middle, unsure of your role, doubting yourself, or feeling torn between friendship and authority. This evolution is rarely smooth. It's a nonlinear process with phases of confusion, self-doubt, and friction. But recognizing these emotions can help you manage them. By understanding that this internal identity shift is normal, you can anticipate challenges and adjust with more confidence. The first step to becoming a stronger leader is learning how to navigate this complex emotional landscape. One of the toughest parts of becoming a first-time manager is not the job itself, but the internal conflicts you experience as you adjust to your new role. Let's look at the most common psychological challenges. First, guilt. You may feel uncomfortable setting expectations or giving feedback to former peers, especially if you were once equals. This creates emotional tension between personal relationships and professional responsibilities. Next, there's fear of social disconnection. Stepping into leadership often means distancing yourself from close friendships at work. The anxiety of becoming isolated or excluded can be overwhelming. Then comes imposter syndrome. Many new managers secretly question if they deserve the role or if they're capable of leading. This self-doubt can sabotage your confidence and decision-making. Finally, you face the ongoing challenge of balancing empathy and accountability. You want to be supportive and fair, but you also must enforce standards and results. That balance is not easy, and it can cause significant inner stress. Recognizing these emotional hurdles is the first step toward overcoming them. As a new manager, your greatest challenge may not come from your tasks, but from navigating relationships with your former peers. This is where external resistance begins to surface. Former colleagues who now report to you may struggle to accept your new authority. Subtle behaviors can emerge. They may question your decisions, hesitate to follow instructions, or challenge your credibility in small ways. Sometimes it's silent jealousy. Peers may wonder, why them and not me? This quiet competition can lead to behaviors that undermine your leadership, even if unintentionally. There are also blind spots. Unresolved past dynamics or personal friendships may blur professional boundaries, making it difficult for both you and your team to fully transition into the new relationship. Peers may test your limits, delaying tasks, withholding full cooperation, or pushing back on expectations as they adjust to your new role. Recognizing these patterns early is critical. By addressing them with clear communication, fairness, and consistency, you can begin to rebuild trust and reestablish professional respect, turning external resistance into productive collaboration. Becoming a manager for the first time requires more than learning new tasks. It demands a fundamental shift in mindset. As a peer, your focus may have been on friendship, doing tasks yourself to ensure they were done right, and maintaining equality and harmony within the group. You might have avoided conflict, hesitated to hold others accountable, and prioritized social connection over performance. But as a leader, these patterns must change. Your role now is to act as a coach, guiding and developing your team members instead of simply doing the work yourself. You must enable others by delegating responsibility and supporting their growth, even when it feels easier to do it on your own. Being a manager means stepping into accountability for your team's outcomes. It requires the courage to address issues directly, hold people to standards, and have difficult conversations when necessary. The shift is not about losing empathy. It's about learning to balance relationships with leadership responsibility. By redefining your role, you move from a hands-on doer to a strategic enabler and decision maker who leads with clarity and purpose. Becoming a manager after being a peer isn't just a change in job title, it's a shift in identity. And to make that shift successfully, you need more than just authority. You need the right support systems. One powerful strategy is seeking external mentorship. By learning from leaders outside your immediate circle, you gain objective insight and emotional clarity. These mentors can help you process challenges and stay grounded as you grow into your new role. Equally important is being clear about expectations. Early on, communicate your new responsibilities and where boundaries now lie. This kind of openness reduces confusion, builds trust, and sets a professional tone with your former peers. Another key move is setting up early feedback loops. Don't wait until there's a problem. Use 360-degree feedback tools to spot blind spots and guide your leadership development through honest input, both ways. Finally, remember to lead the culture by example. Your actions shape the team's values. Be intentional in modeling collaboration, accountability, and trust. Recognition, consistency, and clarity go a long way in reinforcing that culture.